Friends, we are tackling another semi neglected space today. Over my right shoulder, you are going to see what we lovingly refer to as the bunker deck. That is the roof of an old 40s garage that we reclaimed a couple of years ago. And we have really only ever used like folding chairs out there. We've never properly set it up. But today, we're fixing this. We're giving that bad ride a little bit of a makeover. I have furniture. I have pots. I have crazy awesome color. So let's head down there and I'm going to give you the lay of the land. So here we are, bunker space. Now, we have used this previously with just like folding camping chairs because we didn't know what we were going to do here. And if you've watched my furniture shopping video or any of those, I want to take my time. I don't want to just rush out and buy a bunch of stuff that is like cheap and disposable. So we've used this with folding camping chairs. We had a portable fire pit that we brought up here. We've set up folding tables over there. We had like a kind of like a potluck type situation, had the smoker going, all of that. But now it's time to properly address this area. And we've been gathering materials over the past couple months, really getting ready for this makeover in this space. So as you can see, we've got like a long, skinny space here. And actually, I feel like this is a space that you might find in a townhome or maybe even like a ground floor of an apartment, something like that. So we have about 12 feet by 20 feet to work with. Now, this is almost too much for a singular seating area, but I think we can actually bisect this and give us a couple different zones and really give this area some intention. So back here, I actually really enjoy this view, right? This view back towards the cut flower garden behind you is so, so, so sweet. And I really love it. And this is also kind of nice because in the early morning, it gets some shade back here. So this is another fun, like sitting area. Now over here, this has actually worked when we've had people over for potlucks. I love having a table on this side because it feels like you can have like drinks over here. You can have a buffet of food over here. You can have a seating area over here. I mean, I could even bring over a couple chairs and have another little seating area here. So I feel like these two zones are naturally emerging. This is chill seating area. This is like bistro set, secondary dining space. So that's what we're going with. We did have string lights here from when we originally set this up. These are actually solar string lights, and they're fantastic. I've been really, really impressed with them. And there's a little receiver that's on the other side of the fence where we can gather all those beautiful sun rays. So I think at this point, we're going to clear this patio off and start reestablishing our zones to see where we land. Oh, there's a hole in the bottom. That sucks. I would have used this bag, but literally, seriously. Okay, Ace, this is the second time this has happened. So our compost is completely chock full. Pickup is tomorrow. And so I'm literally going to pitch this over the side and we're going to fill it up as soon as it gets emptied. By the way, this is all of the blackberry and the fennel and all of these giant bindweed that we have been, oh my gosh, we've spent months removing this. And I do mean months. It's not even funny. We're getting close, man. We're getting close. Oh, mother of pearl. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the last of this dirt and debris. I'm gonna sweep this into a bucket because I think we just have like a sliver of a room. And I think all this needs, actually, it's in really good shape. I think all it needs is just like a light wash with like the jet nozzle, and we're gonna be in business. I don't even think it needs a power wash. Okay. Also, a little backstory. So this was originally like a 40s bunker garage. It was a disaster in terms of aesthetics. However, it was a really solid structure. And so what we did is we actually came in here with some self-leveling concrete to refinish the surface, because previously it was like a ton of exposed aggregate. So we power washed the heck out of it. We put a treatment on it that was like a binder, and then poured self-leveling concrete over the rest of this. Sorely disappointed with the jet feature on this particular nozzle. God, I think we're gonna, you know what? I think we're gonna do pressure washer. You know I love a pressure washer. This happens every time. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna spray it down. And then I use like the spray attachment and I'm like, no, we're gonna go for broke. Time for pressure washing meditation time. And also now I know why my mother loves pressure washing so much. That woman will pressure wash for like 5-6 hours and she'll just like get after it. It is so satisfying. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Pressure washing was for sure the right choice out here. It looks so much better. So the other thing I like to talk about in design is intention. So who's going to use this space? Now, in my small space, you saw me talk about how that was going to be more of like a quiet, introverted space. That was echoed in the colors, the furniture choices, all of that. This space is going to be very different. This is going to be family. It's going to be friends. It's going to be more boisterous. It is going to feel more colorful and have more energy, a more social energy to it. Because of those things, we want different zones and different areas for people to hang out. Not everyone is going to be seated around a lounger. So we need multiple ways for people to interact in this space. The other thing you're going to notice me do is play with color back here. Now, this is something I haven't talked about before, but color is really important. And I like to tailor all of my seasonal color, all of my florals to the family who will be living in this space. To clarify, that doesn't mean that you need to choose one color story to be carried throughout your property. You can change it based on your zone and your usage of the space. So, back here, I have decided to go with a very warm, punchy color story. We are going to be using reds. We are going to be using apricots. We are going to be using oranges. And when you bring in colors like that, instantaneously, a space has more energy. Red carries with it a signature of activity, excitement, interest. And I think that is more appropriate for this communal, boisterous, family-friendly area. The other thing I want to touch on is furniture selection. We've talked about this before. Your furniture needs to match the usage of the space. I'm going to bring in my selections and I'm going to walk you through the choice that I made, the reason for the choice, and ultimately how we're going to play with them here. So friends, I want to introduce you to my selection from Crescent Garden. I will link it in the description below. But here's the reason that I chose this arrangement. So first of all, These guys are connected on the bottom by this awesome little rod. I don't even know what to call it. It's a connector piece, and it mounts into the bottom with just 2 screws. So super simple to put together and take apart. Here's the other scoop. This chair looks beautiful on its own. However, I can easily shift it into the middle of this little 2-seater, and all of a sudden I have a really different arrangement. It's also super modular, so you could do like a giant L shape, which I love. And for me, when I'm in a smaller space, flexibility is king. I really dislike it when I walk into a space and know it can only be arranged one way. That to me, it just doesn't fit my needs. So for example, if I'm having a party and I need more seating, maybe I'm going to convert this into a 3-seater. Maybe I'm going to bring down 2 dining room chairs and place them here. I mean, this is the flexibility that we're talking about when we're in a small space. I want my space and I to be able to make different decisions for different occasions. So, but for right now, knowing that it's just going to be myself, my family, maybe a few friends, this is the perfect arrangement. I'm going to show you next. Oh, and by the way, you're going to see back here, I have 2 more of the trough planters back there because do you see how like I have man-made furniture next to the wood? I want lusciousness back there. I want greenery. I want all sorts of goodies back there. So you feel like you are just kind of nestled in a floral arrangement. And then I think what I'm going to do is I have a cute little trio of containers that I'm going to bring over here, but I'm going to save that for last. All right, my friends, here is the new bistro table that we selected. I'd actually had my eye on this for a while since our initial shopping trip to Cost Plus, and it was on super duper sale. So we got it for like $51 or something crazy like that. What's great about it is I can use it as definitely like a 2-seater. So if just Brian and I are having dinner or coffee down here, I can also move it over here and I could put like a buffet table. I could also set this up as like a drink station, put a buffet table here. I mean, the options are endless, but having a small table like this is incredibly versatile. And then these are the chairs from the dining room. So I can use them up there. I can bring them down here. And again, all my furniture is working for me and the flexibility that I want in a space like this. Hello. Okay. I have a set of these amazing Crescent Garden pinch pots and I freaking love these things. You know how much I love to change around furniture. Hello. Hello. So easy. Okay, we're gonna start with our centerpiece here, so let's get it in. So first up, we have this Penicetum black stockings. I forgot my hoary up top, so I'm just gonna give it a couple slices here with my collapsible saw, because grasses always come root bound, just like full stop. You buy grass, expect it to be root bound. And it's not a big deal, that's just how they grow. Okay, so this is gorgeous starting point. And this sucker is gonna be tall. I mean, I'm expecting 5 feet plus out of this bad boy. Okay, next, I'm gonna put in, because I know how tall this is gonna get, I'm gonna pull in some really, really tall drama. Let me grab this tag for you. This is Echinacea Fresco Apricot. Check that out. God, that's gorgeous. And this is just a sensational, sensational echinacea. And established, but not root bound. Okay. And I know that this grass is gonna fill in and we're just gonna get a lot of really awesome play together here. Okay, I'm gonna do another one on the other side. Now, to combat some of these hot colors that we've got going on and this depth, I'm gonna bring in this Artemisia. And this is Powys Castle that you saw me use up at my little space kind of at the back of the house. And here's the scoop. I have very different color stories going on, but one trick that I like to do when I do this at a client's home or my home is I will take one plant and jump it from arrangement to arrangement. So even though we have a really different color story up there, the fact that I'm bringing in one of the plants that I used up there down here, it helps kind of subtly draw the eye and kind of like, I don't know, it helps feel like these two are related somehow because you can see the same element used over and over in a different space. Next, I'm going to keep my punches of color really simple here because when you have a giant container like this, it can get out of control real quick. I am going to use this petunia. This is called Fiona Flash. And you've got just some like deep, deep cranberries, almost like a little bit of coral edging in it. Just super gorgeous. And I want these spilling out every which way. And I can easily expect this type of petunia to get, say, 8 to 12 feet, or excuse me, 8 to 12 inches tall and wide. So it's gonna really, really fill out beautifully in here. And you know, I did have a couple people comment in other videos about how they didn't see me tease out the roots and the plants are gonna die and this, that, and the other thing. And here's the scoop. I don't always tease them out. And at the end of the day, it's really a judgment call. If I'm working with a plant that does not have an established root system and there's barely anything down there, I'm not gonna touch it. I am only gonna tease these out if I see them swirling around the container. Otherwise, I'm just damaging a root system for no reason. And especially earlier on in the spring, when these things are getting established, there's like hardly a reason on earth that I would need to tease them out that savagely. Okay, this next one is a Thunbergia. This is black-eyed Susan vine. Look at that. I want to bring in some like real orangey. The throat relates to the deeper tones of my petunia, and I kind of secretly hope that it might weave its way around the fence, the horizontal fencing that we've got back there. And this is Thunbergia Arizona Glow. Okay, and a finishing touch, I'm going to bring in some dark down there. This is a sweet potato vine called Sidekick Blackheart. And it just gives like a little bit of edge to the arrangement, which I think is super fun. Okay, so far she is looking so good. I'm going to wheel her away and bring in the other one. Yee! How easy was that? You guys, it's too hot. My hory is up at the house. I'm not walking all the way up there to get my hory. The sword will do. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good. We are going to repeat the same planting because I do want these flanking that sweet little bistro set that I'm bringing in. Oh, and by the way, I'm actually, instead of doing them exactly the same, I'm going to mirror them. So I'm going to do, on this one, I'm doing the Thunbergia on the outside, and I'll do sweet potato vine on the inside. Already have bees. Okay, oh my gosh, how cute. How cute and fun are these? Okay, this makes gardening in this kind of heat bearable. All right, let's get them in place. Oh, that is so super fun. Okay, friends, I'm going to give you a little bit of a different angle, so I'm not going to be in it much, but you want to see the flowers anyways. These little trough planters, I'm really excited. I'm going to use a sun coleus. Here's the scoop. I never actually believe a sun coleus is a true sun coleus because I think they will all burn in full sun, but I'm still going to play with it. And what's great is when this gets late in the day, there is a slight bit of protection because of this fence right here. And so we're going to give it a go. So this is going to be textural. I'm going to bring in more oranges. It's going to be very, very fun. All right, so I'm gonna start with my main element here. This is a grass. It's a carex called Bowls Golden. And I'm gonna put these two kind of centered down the middle of this trough here. Excellent, excellent. Okay, next thing I want to do is I actually have 3 of these Sun Coleus. This is called Ignite Ruby Slippers. And I mean, that is just like bananas sharp contrast. So I'm very excited to bring these guys in. And I think I'm going to do 3 of them across the back. So you've got 1, 2, and by the way, I am like ruthless when I rip roots. I just straight rip them off if they are root bound. And we have a 3rd one here. Now, the other thing I'm kind of thinking of here is this little cutie. Do you remember this? These were some of my garbage zinnias. I freaking love them. And what's so funny is they take on this like, almost like an electric antique orange. I do not know what's going on here, but these are supposed to be double perfusion deep salmon. And I'm gonna play with a couple. I have 2 of these. I actually have one and then bought one. And I'm trying to figure out, oh, I might like that. Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. Okay, that's pretty cute there. So I could do something like that, or I could move, oh, I think I like that. Okay, now these are going to be about the same size as the Coleus, and so they are not really going to be a competing element as long as I have them staggered correctly. And this little cutie, this amazing cinnamon, gosh, it's cinnamon something. Let's see, premium cinnamon. How gorgeous is that color? I'm a sucker for like a brownish flower. This one is beautiful. Okay, I think we're gonna get going. Okay, decisions are made. Coleus is gonna go down the center like that. And I think what I'm gonna do, so let's see how many I have to work with here and how this spacing might look. I think I'm gonna do all 6. I think I'm gonna go for broke here. 5, 6, okay, cool. All right, so what this is gonna look like is I'm gonna take these and put these little plugs, I think on either side of this Coleus. And what you'll notice I'm doing is I'm creating a lot of triangle shapes, a lot of zigzags throughout my planter. I find that those turn out to be the most aesthetically pleasing on the whole. And of course, if you know a zinnia, these guys will just flower and flower and flower, and they will tolerate the heat of this planter quite well. Okay, ooh, okay, that's looking really good. All right, next element. Now, I think I'm feeling like I kind of want to have this be a wee bit simple, but I do want to bring in another couple elements. So this is going to be at the back of that sofa. And so I don't really feel like I need to have too many trailers here. I think I'm going to come across with my little cinnamon like this. And then I think at the end, what I might do, I might pop that in. Oh, not sure I like that. Okay, let's try something else. I might do that. And FYI, the reason I am paying any attention to these ends is because you see them when you were seated at the bistro set that's right over there. So I don't want this to look like a true end of a planter. Okay, the other thing that I brought in is lotus vine. Okay, that could actually be quite cool. Or, actually, let me see this. I kind of like that. I think I like the more delicate foliage in the front and the sweet potato in the back. Okay, decisions are made, man. Okay, off we go. Oh, and by the way, I'm only using 4 of these guys across the front because these are actually bigger than my other petunias. These are gonna get potentially 14 to 20 inches tall and wide. So this is gonna be just an absolute beast of a container when she is all filled in. And by the way, this is the classic sweet potato called Marguerite. And what'll be great is it will fill, it'll cover my fill holes here. And so all I need to do is just peel that back, fill her up, and then fluff the foliage back in place. Okay, container number 2, here we go. And I'm not even gonna worry about like teasing this. I am just gonna tear it off. But guess what? These roots aren't gonna do anything but keep circling around. So in this scenario, I rip it off and we put it in the ground. Well, this is very like samey. Okay, you guys, this is so funny because typically I don't do this like line situation, but I'm actually really loving it here. And like I said earlier, look, we're triangle, triangle, triangle. All of these kind of like geometric shapes in here with nice crisp angles and great geometry. This pulls a little kind of more linear planter like this together. So kind of fun to do something new. Hey friends, so we stayed out here as long as humanly possible until literally I had perspiration dripping into my eyeballs and it was stinging. And I was like, that's it, I'm done going inside. So we've gone in, we've had dinner, we've been packing tea orders, and now I'm back out here to finish these last 3 containers and do all of the magical goodies that I feel like I've been waiting all day to do. So let's dive in, and I am starting with the year of the banana because I am just obsessed with the banana right now. Ooh, my gosh, that is so good. So this banana actually has a really deep root system on it. It's so funny, you can kind of see here, it's like a narrow, tall bucket. And so with these reservoirs, you actually have the soil doesn't go all the way down. So I knew that I actually needed to take off quite a bit of the base. And so I just simply loosened up the roots and it's totally great. And now just need to backfill a little bit with potting soil to get ready for the next few treasures. Okay, the next thing I'm putting in is kind of hilarious. This is one of our dumpster plants. This is one of our garbage plants that literally it was being thrown away. And not only is it covered with blooms after just being in my plant nursery for a week, but I noticed that there was a verbena planted in here too. So it's a little bit of a wild card. I have no idea what color that verbena is going to be, but I'm putting in 2 of my dumpster plants. They're so good. So the next thing that I'm going to put in here is kind of a fun one that I haven't played with before, but I'm really excited about it. This one is a celosia called Soul Lizard Leaf, like S-O-L and then lizard. I don't know. I don't know who's in charge of naming plants, but we're putting her in. And I think I'm going to end up doing, I think I want to do 3 of these for just some huge height and drama. Okay, that is going to be so beautiful. I think the last thing I may want to do is it feels like it's almost too dark. And so I want to punch it up with a little bit of Marguerite sweet potato vine. And I think this is going to be my last little treasure for this container. I definitely am cramming these in really tight, but you know, we're just going to go for broke up here. Okay, that is so fun and so like Tropicana banana. Okay, so this next little treasure is an unexpected find. I was out at my commercial nursery looking for some Rudbeckia, and this is a variety that they're actually trialing for next year. This is a triloba Rudbeckia, and so it's very multi-branching. It has like a little bit of a smaller flower, and this one is, I don't have the tag, but I believe it's called Prairie Glow. And anyways, I was very excited. They let me take this home so I can play with it. And by the way, Rudbeckias are another one of these plants that you see me rip this off and they just get incredibly root bound in the pot. So yes, you see tons and tons of roots here. I'm just pulling off big chunks of it. Oh, here's the thing. Yeah, Rudbeckia triloba Prairie Glow. I'm so excited. So excited. And I thought next to the banana, which is super structured, I thought this would just be like a fun, like whimsical, kind of fresh piece of texture right here next to this chair. Okay, the next thing is this heuchera. Okay, how gorgeous is that? I feel like this is almost maybe even more of a quiet pot, but just so much dramatic texture. And this one, let me see if I can find a tag in here. This is Heuchera Carnival Burgundy Blast. I think I might actually put this more front and center here because I'm loving this larger leaf with the smaller dainty calibrachoa, and this is just like super awesome contrast. So I am loving, loving, loving that. Okay, and need to make another little spot over here. I'm thinking got a couple options. I thought that might be really fun to kind of pop a little chartreuse over there. But then I also thought that might be really cool and bring in a bit of that silvery texture. Ooh, I might be actually liking that. I guess the other thing is this is a straight leaf, and this has a nice variegation to it. Although that strappy is so awesome. Okay, we might phone a friend on that. Let's see what else we have. Okay, I could also put that in there. Okay, let's see that. Okay, oh, I think that might be the move. Okay, let me try one other thing. I could put this over here and that more coming out the center. Let's take a look at that. Oh, okay, I think that might be it. She's very nice. She's very nice. I also have this sweet little thing, but that almost feels too like babyish. You know what I mean? Like too delicate. Okay. We're going with this big cinnamon situation. The only other thing is I was like, oh, could I do some of that? I just think it's going to be too much. I think that's the move. Oh, and this is a Carex that you've probably seen me use a lot. This is Everio, and it just has that super bright, bright, bright texture. I am using the Carex Everio here, but I used in the trough containers, that was Bull's Golden. I can't remember if I mentioned that. And I kind of wanted to trial both because, as always, I'm always thinking about my clients, like, how are things going to perform? Where can I put different things to just push them a little bit and see how they respond? Because I never want to go into a situation with a client where I'm caught off guard. I try a new variety and it just fails on me. Like, I want my containers to just be beautiful for the people that I'm creating for. And by the way, this is that same cinnamon, this premium cinnamon that I used in the trough planters. So again, I'm just carrying my color story all the way around. Oh, that is so rich and awesome. By the way, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but I feel like summer always has two color stories. The early summer is those softer, more pastels. And I feel like as you move into like July and August, like we just turn up the heat, more reds, more oranges, more vibrancy. I don't know. I just always notice it. So I stuck this tiny cordyline in here. I can't remember the variety, but it has been in here for ages and ages, and I'm gonna give it some friends. All right, so first things first, we have what we are lovingly referring to as the brain. This one is one of those just awesome, awesome coleus with this crazy like brain texture. I just love it. I think it is so sensational. This is a variety called Twister. And again, just really fun texture. And I think it plays so beautifully right here. And funny enough, I think it's nice to have like a bit of strappiness and a bit of spikiness. And it echoes a bit of the structure that we see with the banana and kind of a little bit more of that tropical edge too, which is kind of fun when you're in more of like a vibrant space. Okay, down below, I'm gonna bring in my sweet potato, my Sidekick Black Heart, which is just so cute. You guys have seen me use this over and over and over again. And with all of these containers that are self-watering, they do have little fill holes, and it's really, I actually like having the fill hole off the front sometimes because it's easier for me to access. And this will just be super blousy and cover the whole thing. And then last but not least, this is Calibrachoa Kona Mango. And this is the most gorgeous, gorgeous Calibrachoa. And it's a little bit more orange than what we have going on up here, but I like that we're mixing Calibrachoas. And they're all in the same kind of color temperature, so it's kind of fun. I think this is gonna do it for me. I'm gonna head inside. I've got a few more packages to wrap up. We had a marathon packing session, and tomorrow all of your little goodies are going out in the mail. So just a big, giant thank you for your just warm, lovely welcome of this tea line that we have worked so very hard on. That is just a little piece of my soul going out into the world. Thank you so much for watching, and in the meantime, please say hello to your garden for me.